All right, so I'm here in Vegas for Alex Hermosi's workshop for end of February. If you don't know Alex Hermosi, he owns a portfolio company doing $250 million in aggregate revenue every single year. So the reason why I paid to learn from Alex and his team, I believe that you should actually pay to learn. Pay people who have already done it, pay people who are further along the path so that you can shortcut your way to doing it. So I was talking to someone at my church actually, and he was asking me, what? That's crazy. Why would you pay? I paid like 7,000 for a 2 day event, and that's actually not that expensive. Most high end events go for 25,000, 30,000. The most I paid was 25. And so he asked me, why would I pay 7,000? Wouldn't you be scammed? Could it be a scam? Honestly, it could be a scam. Why not? But let me tell you why you should do it anyways. Because at the end of the day, I believe everything we do can be considered a scam as long as it doesn't work. For example, college. A lot of people think college is a scam. It's because it didn't work for them. But the people that became doctors or lawyers because of school, it's not a scam. They became doctors. I mean, the cost is still pretty high. They're drowning in student debts, but at least they're making 100 to 300,000 a year. So the definition of a scam really is when you pay for something and you didn't get anything in return, or you didn't get what you expected, right? So when you buy something off Amazon for $10 or $50, but when you got it, it felt like a $10 item. So now, why should you still take a shot? Because think about it like this: when you invest in yourself, in your skills, you can compound that with new skills that you keep learning with. You combine them. For example, of the analogy of, let's say GTA. Okay, let's say you've played GTA, or Sims or whatever. Let's say you have a character. Now, let's say your character has $100,000. You could either put the $100,000 and invest it, because my friend at church, he was telling me, hey, you should just invest it in stocks, something that makes 8%, 15% a year. So say for example, you take that 100,000 and you invest it in something that'll give you 15% a year. That's pretty high, but let's just make it good. Okay, 15% a year. That's great. That's 15,000 a year. Awesome. That's great. But not really. How much is that really? Sure, it compounds, but let's talk about the other side, where instead of taking the 100K and putting something that is 15% return, let's take it and you spend it on a mentor who is doing, let's say, 100 million a year. Okay, even if you just learn one thing from that person, at the very minimum, you would be able to grow your business because of the insights that you learn from that mentor. Now, let's just say, worst case scenario, you learn nothing. You come home, now you're at zero, and you learn nothing. So yeah, it is kind of risky. So my friend was right. It is risky. But at the end of the day, you will still earn money, but you kept what you learned from that mentor. So again, if you learned a new skill in marketing, let's say, that will help your business grow at least 2x, let's just say a 2x, then if you were making 10K a month before to save up to 100K, but you spent it all, now you can make 20K a month, and now you're gonna make 200K, and then in perpetuity, because now you've learned that skill. Now obviously that's a hypothetical. Sometimes though, you're able to get a 10x return on your investment in your own self. Okay, so if we do a more granular example, if we go back to the GTA example, if you upgraded your character and you spent that 100K for a skill upgrade instead of investing for 15% return, you buy a skill upgrade, so your character knows how to make more money faster. That's always a better bet, right? Instead of your money sitting there working for you, You should just upgrade yourself as a character. So I like to think of it that way. I'm upgrading myself, spending the 7,000 to upgrade myself so I can learn other angles, learn things that you don't know so you could get to the next level. Now again, sometimes you can't quantify these things because I've been spending money on mentors for the past 10 years, and a course that I bought for $500 10 years ago helped me with my real estate development company grow to where it is today. So sometimes it doesn't pay off till 10 years later, but I was able to keep that skill because you don't forget these these lessons that you learn, especially when you're paying lots of money. So you're able to combine them and compound them. And I truly believe the way you can make exceptional amount of impact and wealth and just freedom in your life is the ability to be able to combine all the different skills that you've collected so that you can become this one unique skill set, one unique brand or entity or corporation for you to be able to push things forward. Okay, so now in terms of, so that's kind of my take on why you should invest in mentors, workshops, courses. Always again, at the end of the day, yes, there will be scammers. There's scammers everywhere. There's scammers in school. There's scammers when you try to buy iPhone off of marketplace. There's just scammers everywhere, but doesn't mean you shouldn't take a shot. You have to take a shot, and you should always invest in yourself, because the only thing at the end of the day, they could, Wealthsimple could shut down, go bankrupt, your stocks could go, but at the end of the day, as long as you wake up, your investment is with you all the time, and you can always grow whatever endeavor you have, whatever business you have. Okay, so again, if you own a concrete installation company or a paving company, but you don't know how to make videos go viral, but you spent 5K to learn it from someone, and now you know how to go viral because you spent 5K, you now know, you will dominate every other concrete or paving company in your city. What is the cost for that to be able to dominate? I'd say way more than 5K. So again, that's my hot take. I believe we should, if you're not in school, if you're a dropout like me, it doesn't mean we stop learning. In fact, we actually keep learning. We keep learning till we die. It's just a different kind of learning. I guess it's called alternative learning now, something like that. So that's my hot take. So I hope you guys like the GTA analogy. Upgrade your character instead of putting the money aside, letting it, whatever. Do both. It's always important to invest. Anyways, so the reason why I'm here is so my company's been growing past couple years pretty good, pretty well. And so I'm almost at 12 million in revenue, and I'm at a pivotal moment where I want to see if I should double down or pivot to software. Now the reason why I'm thinking this is because I don't want to be the king of my city where I'm from, where I'm doing well, my ads are dominating, it's doing really well, I've got lots of inbound. The problem is the margins are closing, and I believe that the products that we're building in the city, they're kind of getting a little saturated, and I think the absorption is going down in terms of these buildings being absorbed, and so the valuations are going down, so the window is kind of closing in, so margins are getting tighter, and I don't like tight margins, because if anything goes wrong in development, real estate development, things can go south very fast, and you're doing a build for tiny profits. Plus it's not as scalable as software, so I really my goal is global, and so I want to impact the world. It's kind of tough to do that with real estate development, with an expertise of a single city focus. So I'm taking everything that I know about real estate and starting a software, AI property management software company where I am my first customer. And so far, I'm loving what I have. What me and my team built is insane, is awesome. I'm so proud of what we've built. And I'm rolling out a wait list for a soft launch. And so that's why I'm here, to talk to Alex Hormozi and his team and to see about which direction I should take this company. Am I taking my foot off the gas to something that's brought me a lot of capital and resources, and then chasing this unknown new thing that I've never done before? Would it be a risk to do this, or is it the play to be able to scale and to have no ceiling? So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no real concrete, more granular questions. I'm mainly here just to also kind of meet people, network, and see what people are doing. So I try to allocate at least once a year, spend a decent high ticket for a inner circle mastermind slash whatever, at least once a year. And that pays down our ignorant debt. So I was telling my friend this at church. It's probably not the place to talk about money, but he asked for it. So I talked to him about the concept of ignorance debt. So I said, what is keeping you or me, whatever, to hitting 1 million a year? What is the cost of that? What does that mean? Like, what is the cost of us not knowing how to make 1 million a year? Well, the cost is 1 million, right? Because you would spend. So I framed it like this: if there was a magic pill that you can take, and when you take that pill, you instantly know how to make 1 million a year, how much would you pay for that pill? 1 million, 500,000, 2 million, 10 million, right? I mean, I'm sure everyone here would pay at least 500,000. If you don't have 500,000, spend it. I mean, but the point, what I'm trying to say is, we should try to pay down our ignorance debt to catch up to the next threshold of what we could be making. So if we bring this down to earth and say you're making 50K a year, what is costing you, what is stopping you from making 100K a year in your business, right? If you're an employee, it's kind of hard because you can't get a raise of like double your hourly pay, right? Let's just say it's a business. So 50K a year versus 100K. What is the cost to getting here? What is the gap? 50K, right? And so of course you're willing to pay at least up to 50K to learn how to make another 50K for the rest of your life. So spending 5,000 or 10,000 to pay down that ignorance debt, that's the ignorance debt, is worth it, right? So so try to allocate ignorance debt fund once a year, even if it's $50 or $100 on a course that you find online on how to effectively market yourself, or how to speak more confidently. Even stuff like that is so worth it. Or even in your faith, like how to have a more Christian, like, or even in your marriage, right? It's worth it. Or in your kids, how to have a more disciplined marriage, something like that. I think it's worth it because, again, even if you don't learn anything, you will still make that money back anyways. But you can never magically learn a new skill just by meditating on it. It has to be learned from someone who's done it before, or you could Learn by yourself, but it'll take way longer. So I also think of it as like a time machine. So these guys, so for example, Alex, he's 30, I don't know, 35, 36. And so he spent, arguably 20 years of his life learning business. I could just pay to fast track myself and learn from him. So I like the quote from Tai Lopez saying, always have war with a multitude of counselors. That's pretty cool. Make war with a multitude of counselors. So meaning, don't just get one mentor, don't just get two, get like 10 or 15, right? And this goes for every aspect of your life, even fitness. Even if you're good at working out, spend $50 for a session with a personal trainer. He might or she might teach you something you've never even thought about that will unlock new gains or new cardio or whatever. Okay. So yeah. So that's why I'm here. I'll take you guys around. Show you guys around the venue for sure. But